for a better finish than Tuesday night. And game 2 underway. Joe Sakic centering Chris Simon and Scott Young against the line of Mike Ridley, Mike Sillinger, and Marcus Naslund as the puck bounces down into the Vancouver zone. There's Hirsch playing it behind him to Jyrke Lume on the right side. Off a skate, and it goes to Marcus Naslund, who led the Canucks shooters with 4 shots on goal in game number 1. Big Chris Simon throws it cross ice, and Scott Young steams after it. Young, a bad angle shot that went wide. Around the boards it goes, off Young, and the Canucks will start back. Here's Marcus Naslund flipping it in as Vancouver will make a change. Gusarov out to center after a strong opening game. Gets it on the left wing to Valeri Kamensky, celebrating his 30th birthday. Centers it, Forsberg scores!
Ben talked about missed assignments. He was very angry after game 1. You cannot let Valeri Kamensky out-muscle you behind the net. Kamensky on Leaf Rolin throws the puck out. There's Forsberg cutting by Tikkanen. Missed assignments. Rolin lets Kamensky throw it out. Tikkanen lets Forsberg fight.
59-second mark has his 3rd goal and 5th point of the series. Now 14 points against Vancouver in 6 games and 1 minute. Kamensky and Gusarov get the assists on the goal as the Avalanche open the scoring quickly, and there's a shot on Hirsch that he'll cover up.
And try and calm things. Kamensky, a strong game in that one, and starting things off, setting up Forsberg on the first goal.
Kamensky with 4 points now in the series, and the Canucks on their heels early, so Colorado got its way, wanting to get off to a better start tonight after being outplayed for the most part in the first period of game 1. Now a long rink-wide pass. Kamensky's in deep again. Behind the net, you'll look to center it. Rolin is watching him. Dropping it back. Forsberg misplayed the puck. And up with it is Hedeken. Here's Hedeken, stopped at center ice, and Claude Lemieux will turn rink-wide, finds Forsberg. He'll flip it towards the net, then Rolin is there. Mark Crawford sees a hot hand and goes right back to this big line for Colorado. Rolin ahead, and there's Cliff Ronning sidestepping a check, and ahead to Tikkanen and McGillney. Patrick Roy gloves that down. Cleared by Colorado. Deadmarsh giving chase. Kuchera got there first, took the hit, but gets the icing call. Jesse Belanger has dropped back to the 4th line, and he is centering Jim Sandlak and Gino Ojic. And it's played back to the point. Flipped back towards Belanger. He is all tied up. As they jam along the board, Sakic tried to get it free. Kuchera with the shot on goal. Sandis Ozolic bumped off the puck. Here's Sandlak centering it. Ojic couldn't get a stick on it. At the point, a coin throws it back in the corner. And Belanger comes off the board, tried to center it. And there's a shot in the goal. The red light is on. The Avalanche stopped up as if a whistle had gone, and Vancouver has tied it.
Gino Ojic just flattened.
3-minute mark. And it's a 1-1 tie on the deflection by Gino Ojic after the heavy cross-check on Troy Murray. So it's a 1-1 tie, and the Canucks have regained their composure after the Forsberg goal in the 1st minute. Here's Marcus Naslund, the wrist shot right on Patrick Roy. The rebound played up the boards and out of play.
Canucks rewarded with a goal.
There's Lume's blast going wide. Puck cleared around the boards, and Scott Young is able to get it out to center ice. Lume back to get it. So Sergio Momesso scored that goal, one of 11 members of the Canucks on the '94 team that went to the final, no longer with the Canuck organization. Here's Simon bouncing Ridley, but Ridley stayed on the puck. And Adam Foote back in his own zone. Rink-wide pass, too far for Sakic, and it'll slide in on Corey Hirsch. And the Avalanche making changes. Dana Merzen slowly out of his zone. Shot it past Coop down the ice, and this could be icing as Ricci touches it and gets the call, and Linden and Ricci tied up there. Like that shift by Gino Ojic that led to the Canucks tying goal in this first period. Very critical of their lack of aggression in game number 1. He said in particular because the defensemen of the Avalanche are like Marsh. Canucks finishing the season 17, 16, and 8. Away from GM Place. Here's Martin Jelena. Trying to spin away from a check. Couldn't get it out. And now Yell plays it back. Here's Mike Keane. That goes off Jelena. Uwe Krupp on the backhand. They score! It hit Ricci in front and deflects into the net.
And Corey Hirsch is calling high stick. Rewarded with that one.
4:52. It's now official. Ricci's first of the playoffs. Uwe Krupp, Mike Keane get the assists. And we talked about the third line and off the top. Great defensive line. But they'll chip in some key goals for the Avalanche as well. And Ricci has them back on top. Here's Russ Courtnall turning. And he just got out of the way of Forsberg, but lost the puck. Kamensky gets it to Lemieux. He's tied up by Rolin, and now Courtnall takes over. There was a indication yesterday in the practice that Pat Quinn might have broken this line up. He had Tikkanen with Linden and Courtnall, but back to the old lines now. Well, hold on. Tikkanen has gone out to replace Jelena. Here's a shot right on Hirsch. Rebound. Lemieux cruising around there. And Ronning picks it up. Gets it ahead to Lume. Here's Lume, a long shot off the blocker. And there is Jelena now out with Ronning and McGillney. So Pat Quinn has changed it up after the first shifts of the game. Lume's all tied up. Usarov couldn't get it out. Here's McGillney walking in front. Alexander McGillney scores! What a goal by McGillney! And the Canucks have tied it again.
And cut across and then shoot the puck back.
So we're tied at 2. And the fourth goal of the hockey game comes at 6:09. It could be one of those wild games. Jelena the assists on the second Canuck goal, tied at 2. And here's a break for Ronning. Cliff Ronning had it knocked off his stick. And back out to center ice. There's Jelena on his wrong wing. Checked at the line. McGillney just failed to get loose, and now it's Ricci back. Keane driving for the net. And the centering pass for Keane too far. Back comes Cliff Ronning. Ronning on the move to the line. The left wing pass doesn't get through, and it's cleared by Yell. And out to center ice. Sent right back in by Kucherov as the Canucks make a change. We've just passed the 7-minute mark of this first period, and already a 2-2 tie. Here's Kamensky over the line, couldn't get the shot away. Now gives it off. Lemieux to Ozolinsh, across Lefebvre, a shot right on. And Ridley turns with the rebound. Up to Sillinger. Hennigan hopping up there as Sillinger dumps it in. Ozolinsh plays the boards. Tikkanen awaiting it for Vancouver. Forsberg on Esa Tikkanen. Now on the far side, it's Sylvain Lefebvre. And he just gets rid of it the length of the ice. Hennigan will go back to get the icing call against Colorado. Wild start here. R-A-T-E. Puck cleared out to center, and Kucherov will send it right back in. And an offside call.
You get Forsberg out there.
And now Marcus Naslund will go right back to the bench to get Tikkanen out there. So the games are on here in this matchup between Colorado and Vancouver. Puck loose at center, and Linden will send it into the Colorado zone. Uwe Krupp back to get it with Courtnall in pursuit. Puck kept in by Hennigan. In behind the net, there's Courtnall, and a penalty coming up. Season long, second best during the year. And here they come. Claude Lemieux. Double team. Kamensky took a whack at it. Now gets it back to Sakic. His shot blocked nicely by Lume. Kamensky has it again. Puts it in front off the stick of Lemieux. And Forsberg will quarterback it. Peter Forsberg. As Ozolinsh teeing it up, and the blast went wide. Martin Jelena trying to clear it. Can't get it out. Linden plays it up the boards. Ozolinsh there. Around it comes for Forsberg. Lemieux without the helmets in front. Here's a shot blocked by Lume again. And Joe Sakic is bumped by Jelena. Lume. And Forsberg, a pair of 21s. It's fed back to the point. There's Sakic. Ozolich, one-timer well wide. Kamensky couldn't control it, then it will come out to center. 66 seconds left in Hedekin's minor penalty. Back in comes Kamensky. Courtnall picks him up and knocks him down. There's Lemieux behind the net, and a whistle on the play. 52 seconds left in the power play. Big Chris Simon's out there now with Scott Young and Mike Ricci. There's Young. Going to set it up now. And it goes for Ricci. Back to Young. The quick shot. Kicked out. And Courtnall just missed, sending McGillney away. Ozolich plays it ahead. Ricci and Young to the line. Dropping it off for Simon. Back in it goes. Here's Young. The shot. They score! Ozolich on the power play. Goals in his rookie year of 92-93 with San Jose. And it's 3-2 Colorado. Their third lead of the game, and we've just passed the midway point of the first period. Kuchera taken to the boards by 2 Avalanche, and out at center ice. It's cleared back in by Lasician. Shots on goal, 7-5, and it's 3-2. Not a goaltender's duel yet. Sillinger is stopped as he went on the rush. Naslund knocked down by Lefebvre. Ridley trying to dig it free. Here comes up the boards for Deadmarsh. And he'll move it out with Lasician. Lasician now heads for the bench. Deadmarsh on his own. He's checked, and Adrian Aucoin takes over. Strange goals in this one. Deflections, an offside call as Ojic hit Ricci after the whistle. Nothing comes of it. 5 goals on 12 shots. The old save percentage taking a beating right now.
And yet, could you fault the goalies on any of the goals?
A couple of strange deflections. I mean, how could Hirsch stop Ozolich on that power play goal moments ago? Been a wild start. They had a couple of these games in Vancouver, won by the Avalanche 7-5 and 8-4. Two teams that don't usually have any trouble scoring. There's a 2-line pass taken by Young. Offside the call. Lead, 8.5 minutes to play. First period as Ronning rolls a shot in on Patrick Roy. Kucherov playing it on the right side. Pass Forsberg. Taking it on the ice again. Watching Forsberg. And he's all over Forsberg, knocking him down as the Avalanche sends it into the Vancouver zone. And this is icing, so although it's been wide open, and the Avalanche up with it at center. There's Troy Murray. So Murray, who went off after the cross-check early in the game, is back out for face-off duty anyway. And Forsberg's on the ice again, knocked down by Hedekin. Puck flipped down the ice, and McGillney giving chase against Adam Foote. Ronning following up as it's cleared around the boards to the far side, and Kamensky has it there. Ahead it goes, Peter Forsberg. Over the line, lost it, but Lemieux was there. Kamensky was alone in front. And here's a puck cleared to Hirsch, and the fans don't like the treatment that Peter Forsberg's getting, and it continues after the whistle from Esa Tikkanen.
Claude Lemieux went over and had words with Tikkanen the way he's shadowing Peter Forsberg.
Right now it's Ricci, Yell, and Keane, and they're throwing their bodies around, but Courtnall breaks out. Russ Courtnall with some room. Can't get by Wolanin, who makes the nice check and flips to center ice. Keane to Ricci, Uwe Krupp has moved up. Krupp takes a look, missed Yell with the pass out at center, and here's a break. Courtnall has a break. Russ Courtnall fires, and Patrick Roy with the save. Patrick Roy playing in his 9th consecutive game, and obviously has been the workhorse since the acquisition. 6 minutes, 45 seconds left, first period. And it's Colorado with a 3-2 lead. Forsberg on the ice. He ran into Courtnall, who lost his stick, and here's Lemieux on right wing. A shot on Corey Hirsch, who does a little juggling act and hangs on to it. Got a lot of confidence from his relief role on Tuesday night.
Even though he let in 2 goals, there were 2 goals that he couldn't help. And he had quite a few shots.
Here tonight, he's been victimized 3 times in the first period. Some strange goals scored on deflections. Pass for Naslund on the left side, too far, and he'll go after it. Ronning following up. Sakic plays it around. Chris Simon couldn't reach it. And back to get it is Lume. Under 6 minutes to go in this first period. And a foot played it ahead, hit Naslund with it. Here's Marcus Naslund over the line. Quick shot. That's handled by Patrick Roy. Lume had moved up, and the Avalanche cleared by him to center. Merson takes a look, finds Ronning over the red line, and he puts it into the Colorado zone. Around the boards, and there's Deadmarsh speeding down. The former Portland junior is upended, and a penalty coming up. Avalanche have a power play. Are up front for Colorado. Linden won the faceoff, almost broke out with it. Linden and Jelena are the penalty killers. Ricci hit by Jelena. Out comes loose. The Avalanche have control on the left side. Ozolinsh to Simon, and he whipped the shot wide of the net. For a great shooting position in the slot. And now Jelena with the steal. Martin Jelena, short-handed, stopped by Roy. We mentioned in game 1, Colorado gives up a lot of short-handed goals, 22 on the season to lead the NHL, and Jelena had a great chance there.
And again, it was Joe Sakic who plays the point on the power play.
Minor penalty, 4:50 to go, first period, and it's 3-2 Colorado. Here's Sandis Ozolinsh giving it off to the speedy Forsberg. His centering pass broken up, and now Ridley breaks out. Sillinger on the move. Here's another breakaway. Sillinger hit the goal post on a super feed from Mike Ridley. 2 breakaways in the first minute of this Colorado power play. Now they're back on the attack. Forsberg, and just getting a stick on it was Ridley. Forsberg gets it back. Now the Avalanche setting it up. Sakic, sharp angle. That goes high in the air. And where is it? Hirsch has it in the glove at the 7 to go in this first period. Peter Forsberg again. Lemieux cross-checked down by Linden. Here's Forsberg teeing it up. The shot, rebound, Hirsch down. And Kamensky has it. Back to Forsberg. Hangs on. Creeping in is Krupp, centered in front and cleared by Jelena to the line. Kept in Ozolinsh. Sandis Ozolinsh watched by Linden. Now it comes diagonally to Forsberg. Lemieux turns. His shot doesn't get through. Kamensky behind the net, Ronning back out, so the Canucks have killed the penalty. And Merson bounces it down the ice. And this will be icing if Krupp gets it there ahead of Ronning, and he does. Icing the call, but the Canucks. But it's had plenty of interesting moments.
Troy Murray won that draw cleanly, but drew it right by Alexei Gusarov.
Adrian Aucoin can't get it out. That's Deadmarsh. Aucoin right back on him as the puck comes in front. Murray's shot hit somebody, and the Canucks on the counterattack. Long pass Ronning to McGillney. It deflects into the zone. Naslund and McGillney ran into Murray, and McGillney up to the puck. McGillney, some nifty stick handling, but lost possession as he moved into the slot. Kuchera ahead. There's Naslund finding McGillney. McGillney snaps the shot. Waugh got a piece of that. And McGillney has been much more visible in this first period than at any time in game 1.
I don't think Mark Crawford really wanted to have Curtis Lesishin matched up against Alex. Fades away.
Puck seemed to bounce on him in game 1, and many of the players saying the ice was very soft for the opener after a basketball game the night before, and the Avalanche players were saying it should be much better room
for the goalies to dress with the rest of the team. I don't know why they picked the goalies, why they picked 2 other guys.
Oh, I knew you'd be whining about that. Now Down to 2:05 to go in the period. And Scott Young looked like he had a break. Now Sakic is on the go in the Vancouver zone. Bounced off the check of Belanger, and then he went down. Sakic after it again, kicked free by Lume. And Belanger got it to Merzen. They get crossed up as Merzen dropped it back and was knocked down by an aggressive Joe Sakic. Well, this has been more physical than game one. LeBave just got rid of it. Here's Belanger to the side of the net. And both teams having players take runs at each other on that shift as it's cleared down on Hirsch.
Sandlak and Ojic out. That's only the second shift for Gino. He got his goal and gets one last shift here with a minute left.
Rankwalainen clears it back in. There's Mike Ricci tied up by Hedekin. Rolin around the boards, kept in by Krug, bouncing a shot right on Hirsch with a screen from Mike Keane. Rolin trying to get it out, and now the Canucks do. Trevor Linden's on the move with less than a minute to go in the period. He leaves it for Jelena, and Jelena checked by Ricci. Ricci takes a look, has a couple of wingers streaking, but the pass failed to click, and Jelena takes over at center ice. Jelena gets it back again into the Colorado zone. And Kucherov up to Yell. He's leveled by Merzen. Merzen over the line. There's McGillney, and it's offside.
Veteran, he's been around a long time and always tries his hardest every shift. There was, I think Dana Merzen's going to get a roughing penalty for that shot on Adam Foote.
Straight arm Foote. And he is right beside the penalty box, and he won't have to go on the ice with Claude Lemieux. And Joe Sakic now up front. As Mark Crawford decided after the Jelena breakaway that maybe he'd get two defensemen back there, Ozolinsh and Krug. Forsberg in his own zone dropped it off, and Jelena's causing havoc again. Now the Avalanche get control, but they're running out of time. Sakic maybe time for a shot. Quickly wide, and there goes the horn to end the first period.
All right, they're outside.
Second period underway, and the dying seconds of a power play for Colorado. Forsberg's out there, Sakic, Claude Lemieux, Ozolinsh, and Kamensky. Here's Forsberg over the line. A pass just failed to hit Kamensky, streaking off the left wing. Forsberg shot, rebound. Sakic robbed by Hirsch as they come close on the bang-bang plays. And Corey Hirsch up with his two best saves of the game. Back it comes to Ozolinsh. Down the other point, Kamensky manning that. Sandis, Ozolinsh in behind the net. Forsberg trying to catch up with it. Here's Sakic, and it's played out to center. And Jelena will give chase. Here's Linden intercepting. And Trevor Linden now comes over the line. His shot kicked out by Waugh. And again, a chance for the penalty killers of the Vancouver Canucks. Dana Merzen is in the penalty box, and under a half minute to go now. And here's Mike Ridley, and Patrick Waugh just left it there. Centering pass, Sakic has it. And he'll start back with Ricci. And Young, Sakic over the line. Comes across the backhand in front. Ricci was there, tied up by Lume. Chris Simon after it against Sillinger. Puck cleared ahead. Scott Young there. Now Simon. There's Ricci in the corner. He's taken off the puck by Kuchera. Behind the net is Young. Sweeps in front as Merzen returns to the ice. Sillinger with it. The cross ice pass, and there's Ridley taking it onside. Ridley over the line. He'll drop it off. Lume couldn't control it. And it's Scott Young sending away Ozolinsh. He couldn't control it. And he'll complete a change for Colorado.
Much better penalty killing by the Vancouver Canucks on that power play. They chased the puck in the neutral zone, especially Martin Jelena, and didn't allow the Avalanche time to get set up.
Here's a near turnover as Keane had trouble with it. They get it out to center, and Rolin over the red line sends it back in, and because Garrett doesn't have a paycheck at stake.
That's right. That's right. I don't have to get fired. I'm not the goaltending coach. Corey Hirsch made his best save of the night early in the second period. A bang-bang play, and he must be feeling a lot better about the game now. He came sliding across, made a good save, and then stopped Joe Sakic on a rebound.
He may be called upon here as Keane just failed to get loose. Kachera around the boards. Marcus Naslund there. Comes out in front and now out to center where McGillney takes over. Alexander McGillney has a goal on the attack. Back to the point. Kachera's shot hit a skate. Comes to the near boards. Naslund plays it in. Naslund out there with Ronning and McGillney, and they're behind the net looking to center it, and it's onto the stick of Keane as the Avalanche turns. Stefan Yell at center. Lost control of it, and it bounces right in on goal. 3-2, and things have gotten quiet. Although Ozolinsh blasting that one just wide. LeFay puts it into the corner. Sakic tied up by Lume. Lemieux is bumped. Fierce battle for the puck. Sandlak was in the middle of it, and Lume flips it out to center. Sylvain Lefebvre plays it ahead. Kaminsky. Here's Forsberg over the line. Forsberg with Tikkanen in pursuit again. And Tikkanen runs him into the corner. Claude Lemieux comes up with the puck. Tried to feed the point. Belanger broke it up. And now Sandlak steps over center and rolls it in. Line matching continues. Forsberg's off the ice, so Tikkanen leaves the ice. Ortnell dumps it in. Jelena after it. Ozolinsh and Jelena in behind the net, and Martin Jelena kicks it loose. There's Hennigan leaving it. Ortnell in front. They score! Trevor Linden in front. I'm not sure if he touched 75th Stanley Cup playoff game tonight. Always a force on the road. 41 points in 41 road games during the regular season, and he has 2 points now in this series here in Denver, and a 3-3 tie. And Linden's after it again. He's watched by Wolanin. Ricci plays it in behind his net. Uwe Krupp is there. Back to Wolanin, hit by Jelena. Up it goes to Ricci. Down at center, Ricci hit by Linden. In behind the play, Courtnall is a little slow to get back into the action. Here's a centering pass, and Ricci just rolled it wide. Frank Ricci coming close to his second of the game. Ricci puts it in the slot, and Jelena there. The goal, Linden from Courtnall and Hennigan at 4:08. And here they come again. Linden at the line is offside.
2 breakaways in the last penalty, and take a penalty so we can get a couple more breakaways.
That's a great chances shorthanded, but with Ozolinsh and Sakic, and here's Kamensky, Lemieux, and Forsberg. They'll get more than their share of chances. Kamensky behind the net. Tried to center it. Nice block by Rolin. Kamensky plays it out. And now Forsberg. Kamensky. Forsberg plays catch with Kamensky out in front. Hurst down, and Kamensky couldn't lift the backhand. Hennigan trying to tie it up. 3 Avalanche in behind the red line. Now they'll set it up again. Lemieux in the slot. Couldn't get it, but Ozolinsh sends it right on net. And it's sent out to center ice. Ozolinsh over to Forsberg. Forsberg hanging on. Ozolinsh has gone down to the side of the net. Sakic's wrist shot goes high, and the net's been knocked adrift. It's now final. Vincent Domfus with the game winner. A terrific night. Overtime. Tampa, Philadelphia. I told Mark Bureau scored the 5th goal for the Canadians. And they lead the series 2-0, going back to the Molson Center. Here comes Young in the slot. Simon the shot. And Corey Hirsch has been great in this advantage. And we were saying the other day, Joe Sakic telling us prior to the start of the series that he has plenty of offensive talent. It doesn't hurt that a guy like Chris Simon gets a little extra room out there.
Pretty hard to move from in front of the net on the power play.
Power play has just 22 seconds left. Cleared around the boards, and there is big Chris Simon. One-handing it to Ozolinsh. Lume watched him, and Linden got it by foot and down the ice. And Russ Courtnall will be getting set to return in 5 seconds. Scott Young up at center, too far for Keane, and now Courtnall back on the ice as Merson rolls it in. The penalty killing of Colorado was a big factor in game 1, and the penalty killing of the Canucks is solid here tonight. Ronning reaching for it, but Stefan Yell came up with it. His cross-ice pass broken up, and back in comes McGillney. Alexander McGillney backhanding it in front. Ronning looking for it. Now it comes back to McGillney. Looking for Ojic. Kuchera's shot, and that caromed off a skate. McCoy puts it around the boards. Kuchera far side. Ronning there behind the net. So is McGillney. Chipped away from him by Deadmarsh. A coin stood up there to keep it in. But now here comes Deadmarsh. And he was checked as McGillney came back defensively. McGillney sends it ahead. Ojic giving chase. Look across to Gusarov. Out at center, and McGillney will put it back in. We've just passed the 8-minute mark of the second period, and it's a 3-3 tie. The Canucks drawing even here in the second period on the goal by Trevor Linden. Jesse Belanger knocked down by Kamensky as he tried to move between Kamensky and Forsberg. And Kamensky, nice pass to Krupp. Uwe Krupp's on the move, trying to go wide. And Hedeken lines them up, and there's a big collision as Hedeken knocked Krupp off his skates. And Hedeken will lead Vancouver back up. Hedeken over the line, shot didn't get through. And Wolanin plays it around the board. Sandlak and Krupp go after it, and Sandlak wins that battle. Rolin playing it into the corner. Belanger is nailed there by Wolanin. Forsberg tripped by Tikkanen, and Wolanin starts up. Left side pass for Kamensky, broken up by Rolin. Now Kortnell scooting after it, and the defense got crossed up. Up chipped high in the air. Kortnell brings it down, looking to center it. Cleared by Wolanin. That was a strange one, and an alert play by Kortnell. Kortnell has it again. Gives off to Lume. Jyrki Lume weaves his way and shoots it right on. Forsberg belted by Linden. Kortnell steps into him. And the Canucks a lot more physical, but a penalty coming up. And this one's going against the Avalanche.
It's going against Peter Forsberg, a retaliation penalty, hit twice. And he went back after Russ Kortnell. Well, here in the second period, they've carried the play to the Colorado Avalanche.
He was particularly incensed by the fact Forsberg was untouched with his line mates in game one. But Forsberg's taken a beating here in game two, and now the first power play of the game for Vancouver. Ronning gives it to McGillney. Remember, 0 for 8, the Canuck power play in the opener. Ronning and McGillney exchange the pass. There's Ronning back to McGillney. Lack of shots was a problem in Tuesday night's game. And they have yet to direct one here at Patrick Roy in the first 40 seconds. Ronning spinning away from Lefebvre, lost it, but it came out in front, and the Avalanche clear it.
And again, the Canucks working the puck down low. Their point men are open, but they want that play close into Patrick Roy across the crease.
McGillney, nice pass to Linden. Here's a chance in front, and a great save by Patrick Roy. No, it went in the net. Jelena redirecting it, and it's in. Pass from Trevor Linden to Martin Jelena.
Martin Jelena starts the play, and then he finishes the play. Trevor Linden feathers it through Jelena off Patrick Roy's stick. Roy, in desperation, got the stick over. Alexander McGillney to Trevor Linden, and Jelena goes to the net. Perfect pass by Trevor Linden. Jelena tips it. It's off Patrick Roy's stick. Up.
Trevor Linden with a goal and an assist in the second period. Shut down the ice. Kuchera raced after it. Sandwiched by two Avalanche, but the Canucks break out with it. Here they come over the line. Adrian Aucoin the shot, and on the short side, Patrick Roy gloves it and gets a whistle, but this is a far more impressive Canuck effort from the face-off. Chris Simon trying to get it out, but Ridley's on him, and now it's cleared down the ice. 8:50 left, second period. 4-3 Vancouver, the go-ahead goal, a power play marker at 10:41. Now here's Young trying to get loose, and his shot off a skate. Moving up is Lefebvre. Young on the right side. Looks to center it. Chris Simon now takes over. Ridley watching him. Scott Young to Joe Sakic. Here's Simon. Plays it off the boards. Sakic wrapped it around. Ozolinsh moving up, and the Canucks get it out to center ice. 8:15 to go here in the second period. Vancouver with the lead. And the Avalanche on the attack. Simon again. Can't get free, and it's played out. Down the ice by Sillinger as the Canucks make a change. So do the Avalanche. Hedican. And reach it at center. Got the stick up on Keane.
Yeah, we have some for Saturday. Not an awful lot, but we've got some. And what we obviously recognize is if the players keep it up tonight here, it'll be a hard ticket to get. And what really has to come from this is that the fans can see that the players are starting to pull it together.
Arthur, thanks. Chris, back to you.
Well, you saw the high sticking call on Brett Hedican, and the Avalanche back on the power play, now looking for the tying goal. Arthur Griffiths making reference to Corey Hirsch, and those two saves early in the period really looking big now. Here they come again. Sakic's shot doesn't get through. Ozolinsh, and he couldn't get wood on that one. Plays it around, and Kamensky giving chase against Kuchera. Avalanche get control. That's Forsberg with it, and they'll set it up. Ozolinsh at the point, moves up, sprawling is Linden. Ozolinsh into the slot. Back it comes. Sakic drills it, and Hirsch got a piece of that. Ozolinsh takes a look. A minute gone in the power play. Linden watching Ozolinsh. Now Claude Lemieux got a quick shot away, and Hirsch alertly covers. Captain's had a terrific second period. Lume off the boards, gets it out to center. 40 seconds left in the man advantage. You see the time remaining in the second period. Young in. Here's a great stop off Ricci. Hirsch down. Puck still loose, and Ricci can't tuck it in. Corey Hirsch in this second period. And that's another great stop off Ricci, who is on the limp and very slow to get to the Colorado bench. Young called for the pass and now has it along the boards. Krupp is moving in. Krupp takes the pass, and that one-timer didn't miss by much.
Corey Hirsch, not much chance on that. Uwe Krupp just missed the far side with Hirsch sliding across.
Again, Mike Ricci, who just missed tying it, went to the Colorado bench on the limp and is getting attention. Here's Hirsch giving it away almost, and McGillney coming back to help out. Canucks back at full strength. Lume will just send it the length of the ice. Foot back to touch it, icing the Armitage and the Hockey Night in Canada crew in Denver. Well, the Vancouver Canucks are trying to even this Western Conference Series with the Avalanche. Kuchera whips the shot in and goes after his own rebound. Cleared around by Murray, stopped up by McGillney. Feeds the point. There's a shot off both posts. Cliff Ronning signaling a goal, but no red light, and Dan Marawelli right on the scene. That went off both pipes, off the stick of Naslund. That's how close the Canucks came to a 2-goal lead. Vancouver may be anticipating video replay, but Marawelli in perfect position. Here's Gino Ojcik on the move. Ojcik plays it to Ronning, and a weak shot just went wide with McGillney standing on the doorstep. Now back the other way, Deadmarsh. And the Canucks right now carrying the play to the hometown Avalanche. Dana Merzen back in his own zone.
And not getting many bounces. They've had a couple of tip-in goals, but there's one inside of the post, right straight across, other post and out.
Icing the call, and will. And it's still a 1-goal Vancouver lead. Rolene up the boards. That's Krupp moving on it. Now the near side, Russ Portnoy up ahead, and Linden gets it out, and Dan Marawelli has his arm raised, and he's going to call a penalty. Linden won control, back to Lume. Long shot, drifted high and wide. Mike Keane sends it down the ice. 3:53 to go in the second period. It's 4-3 Vancouver. Stefan Yell forechecking. Takes Rolene into the Colorado bench area. Lume follows up and moves it into the Colorado zone. Lume trying to get around Wolanin. Sylvain Lefebvre up the boards. Rolene is there. Courtnall to Trevor Linden. Linden sets it up. Courtnall blast. That was blocked by Yell. Courtnall again. In for Linden. Back to Rolene. There's the shot. That's blocked by Yell. A couple of blocks on this penalty kill, and Mike Keane is going to move it down the ice.
Perfect positioning by Stefan Yell, lined up with the point then, and staying on his feet, so he's still in control.
54 seconds left in the power play. Sakic just missed getting a break. Talked about them giving up shorthanded goals. The Avalanche can score them as well. With 21 on the season. Gusarov clearing it back down the ice. And Aucoin has it with 33 seconds to go in the second power play of the game for Vancouver. Here's Alexander McGillney. Almost lost it to Forsberg, who was in home free. Now Sandlak puts it across. It'll come back to the point. Kuchera drives it. Rebound. And Patrick Roy stopped that, running behind the net. Got it back to Aucoin. Across to Kuchera. Sakic out on Kuchera. And he blocked that shot. And it goes to center. Kamensky gets set to return. He's back on the ice. And it's now 1 for 2. McGillney a chance in front. And Patrick Roy grabs it. As Alexander McGillney double clutched there and passed off instead of shooting.
And he fooled him.
Here's a quick shot from the faceoff by Lume, handled by Patrick Roy. And now Naslund has a chance. Naslund! And a big glove stop by Patrick Roy. Naslin's had 2 dangerous all season for the Chicago Blackhawks. They'll try to get back on even terms tomorrow. Here under 2 minutes to go in the second period. As Kamensky works his way in. There's Lume behind the net. Off the boards. Kicked ahead by Krupp. Canucks can't get it out of there. Lemieux batting at it. Kamensky centering it off Hirsch. And turning with it is Sillinger. He speeds through center and rolls it in as the Canucks make a change with 80 seconds remaining in the period. Uwe Krupp with Ridley hooking at him. Now the Avalanche get it in deep. Rolene takes a hit, got it around the boards. Courtnall has skating room there. Russ Courtnall sends it into the Avalanche zone. Adam Foote has it there, clears it ahead, under a minute to go. Nice to see Mike Ricci's back out there and okay. Trevor Linden hit by Stefan Yell. Loose puck side of the net. Linden comes up with it. Ricci all over him. And it's Jelena out to center. Martin Jelena, who has the go-ahead goal. He goes down at center with Adam Foote. Gusarov almost gave it away. Stefan Yell helped out. Here's Foote playing it ahead. Aucoin watching his man Ricci, and Yell steps over the line. Gets around Courtnall, looking to center it. Stefan Yell back to LeBay. There's the shot. Loose puck in front of Corey Hirsch. And out of the scramble, it goes to the boards. Jelena just flips it out to center as the clock ticks down into the final 10 seconds. Gusarov's on the move. Trying to center it. Sakic behind the net. Now Chris Simon's after it. Maybe time for a shot. There it is. The horn sounds before any further damage.
A much better period for the Vancouver Canucks. More aggressive.
We're back in Denver, and the third period is just underway with the Vancouver Canucks protecting a 1-goal lead. Peter Forsberg, Claude Lemieux, and Valeri Kamensky start up front for the Avalanche. There's Forsberg along the boards. Lume's lost his helmet, and Kamensky taking him out. Lume stayed on it, got help from Ridley, rolled it to the line. It'll be kept in by Colorado. Data Merzen up the boards, and he'll get it by Ozolinsh down the ice. As the Avalanche came out, a standing ovation just prior to the start of the period to get the Avalanche going. In the Stefan Yell on this face-off in the Vancouver zone. Played around by Hedican. Courtnall is hit there by Keane. And the Avalanche clear it back in. Mike Ricci with Yell and Keane. Ricci was hurt midway through the second period, but has taken a regular turn. Courtnall throwing it across, hit Keane. Linden up with it. Goal and an assist so far tonight. Here's Aucoin with a shot that doesn't get through. Now it's Courtnall putting it out in front, deflected by Wolanin out to center. And Linden picks it up there. Back to Kuchera. Adrian Aucoin with a pass to Jelena. Now ahead to the Canuck captain. Kuchera hops up there too. The shot, rebound. Linden reaching for it, but it was cleared. Ricci bumping into Naslund as Scott Young takes the pass and skates through center. He's got a booming shot that just went wide. Sakic clears it around the boards. Young after it against Kuchera. Scott Young stolen by Ronning. And now McGillney flipping it high in the air. Naslund in pursuit of the puck against Adam Foote. Foote behind his net. Handed it to Naslund as he was hit by McGillney. Ronning trying to spin away from Sakic. Now Naslund's in after it. There's McGillney tied up by Sakic. Jyrki Lumme has moved down low into the corner. Sakic and McGillney battling along the boards. And the battle continues. And McGillney wards off. There's a shot in front. Lumme running loose. They score! Gino Ojek pouncing on the loose puck.
Gino's second of the night.
Linden, Tikkanen, and Courtnall come right back out as they continue to match the Forsberg line. Forsberg tied up. Tikkanen watching him all the way. The stick getting in there as well. And it's fired right back in. This was an ominous start for the Canucks. Forsberg, the dominant player in Game 1, scoring in the opening minute of the second game. Vancouver has fought back, and now with a 2-goal lead, but early in the third period. Look at Tikkanen watching Forsberg again. Well, this has been vintage Esa Tikkanen in checking modes since the first goal. There's a stop by Hirsch. Kamensky behind the net. Couldn't center the pass against the sprawling Rolin. Now puts it in front. And Ozolinsh had it carry him off his skate in the third period. And the Avalanche down by 2. Denmar's putting it down along the line, and Hirsch has covered it. Oh, that was dangerous.
Good save by Corey Hirsch as he came across quickly and got the legs down solid.
You got to hand it to the rookie goaltender. It was one of those starts in the first period. He was great in the second and comes up big early in the third. The Avalanche have picked up the pace since the Ojek goal to make it 5-3. Kucherov back in his own zone. Jelena checking for Vancouver along with Ridley, and they turn it over. Now Uwe Krupp will try his luck. He just got by Jelena. And here they come. Ozolinsh over the line. That pass failed to click, and Ridley starts back. It's a 2-on-1, Ridley and Jelena. Here's Ridley across, Jelena shooting, and he whipped the shot high and wide. And Ozolinsh will start back. Out at center ice, Yell ahead to Young. Back to Stefan. Yell the drive right on. Yell in the corner. Mike Ricci looking for a loose puck. Krupp has moved up. Jelena's along the boards, and he has it for Vancouver. Back to Big Dana Merzen. Off the glass. Canucks not taking any chances as they send it the length of the ice, and Krupp touching it, icing the call for
Tikkanen. I'm sure Tikkanen's numbers would be within 10 seconds.
Kamensky tried to center it. It comes back to the line, and Naslund takes off. Here's Marcus Naslund, who's been dangerous tonight, and an offside call. Tough to hear some of the whistles here with the lead. Gino Ojek. The lone goal so far in the third period. The Canucks with 3 in a row after trailing 3-2 after 20 minutes. Kept in by Ozolinsh. Brett Hennigan. Ward checking his Keane. Dangerous pass right in front of the net. Rolin got rid of it. Now Linden. On the right side. McGillney. Rink wide. Tikkanen can't catch up to it. And there's Keane. Flipping it back in. Tikkanen started to head off. Now Forsberg's out there, and Tikkanen picks up his man. Kamensky. Shot by Ronning. Courtnall chases him back. Here's a centering pass, and Lemieux hits the post. Tikkanen whipped it around the boards. That hit Forsberg. Now Peter Forsberg. Watching him, Kuchera. Forsberg warded off the check, centered it. Shot bouncing in on Hirsch. And it was Kamensky taking a high stick. And he flung his stick and just missed Ronning, and the Avalanche upset. There's no penalty call. And we now like to welcome viewers from Saskatchewan and Alberta to Denver, Colorado, the McNichols Sports Arena, where the Canucks have scored 3 straight goals, lead 5-3 early in the third period. And an offside call against the Avalanche, but Colorado now on the power play as Cliff Ronning's just taken a goal for Colorado this evening. He scored on the power play in game 1 as Linden tosses it out to center. Now a pass through for Kamensky on the backhand. Hirsch the save, rebound, and he stops Claude Lemieux. And Corey Hirsch was a shot off the outside of the post by Ozolinsh. And Jelena out to center. Joe Sakic fires it back in. Chris Simon in there looking for the puck. It comes loose. Linden worked it free, and Merzen backhands it down the ice. First minute of this double minor has expired. Here comes Ozolinsh leading Colorado through center. Right side too far for Sakic. Turned back by Hennigan. Ozolinsh now hits the captain, and Joe Sakic winds up. Hirsch got a piece of that. Mike Ridley and Ricci go to the boards. Lee lean there as well. He'll play it the other way. Now Hennigan with Chris Simon on him. Simon has him pinned, and Hennigan trying to get a whistle. That's Ricci looking to work it free. And finally, play has been stopped.
Good job by Brett Hennigan, and that's not an easy job with Chris Simon leaning on him, trying to get that puck free.
In the NHL, Forsberg on the draw, and a nice win for Mike Sillinger as he batted down the ice. And Gusarov are the point men now. Kamensky is on the ice with Lemieux and Forsberg. Kamensky knocked down behind the net. Forsberg up with it. Back to Kamensky. A little room. And he goes to the net, and Hirsch held his ground and made the save. And Kamensky looking for another penalty as he was leveled in front. And now Lume and Kamensky jabbing at each other behind the play. Here's Claude Lemieux. Snaps the shot wide. Forsberg on the near side. Centering pass. Knocked down by Lume, and McGillney takes off with Courtnall. Russ Courtnall, long shoot in wide of the net. Alexander McGillney playing it back into his own zone, and Hirsch is out. Stops it up, and it's banked off the boards by Kuchera down the ice. 90 seconds to go in the double minor, and here's Courtnall maybe with a chance. Scott Young recovering just in the nick of time.
There's Courtnall with a chance for another breakaway. That time Scott Young playing the point.
Here's Sakic backhanding it in. Hirsch kicked it out and made the save with a rebound. Ozolinsh keeps it in. Joe Sakic bouncing puck, and Corey Hirsch has made another save and gets a whistle. In the third period, Sakic shot doesn't get through, and Simon whipped it wide. Here's Ricci behind the net. Adam Deadmarsh with 55 seconds to go in the power play. Sakic, wrist shot right on. Rebounds loose. Cleared by Merzen to the boards, and Jelena will speed out. Here's Martin Jelena circling back. Lume. And the penalty killers playing confidently for Vancouver.
And when they see a chance to go with the puck, they know they can get some scoring chances.
Ozolinsh to Adam Deadmarsh. Ricci in front. The tip goes wide. Lume the backhand, and that'll go into the Vancouver bench with 22 seconds to go. He wins the faceoff. That's Gusarov in deep for Colorado. The centering pass. Kamensky back out again. Courtnall grabbing onto him, lost his stick. Here's a centering pass. Sakic right in, scores!
Valeri Kamensky sets up this play. Russ Courtnall's lost his stick. He bends over to get his stick. Joe Sakic goes to the front of the net. Lead throw lead, leaves him. Lead Rolin got fished in. He went to the corner. Courtnall without the stick. Now Rolin has to stay in position. Rolin looks around. Now he has to stay where he is. Instead, he goes to the corner. He goes to Kamensky, and there's Sakic. The quick hands and no chance for Corey Hirsch.
Well, this team is lethal 4-on-4, and Sakic has his second goal of the series, and it's a 1-goal lead. And now Mike Keane's on the move. 5-4. Vancouver has the lead with 9:40 to play. And the Canucks have the man advantage now. Trying to restore that 2-goal advantage. Lefebvre on the clearing attempt. Here's Ronning chopping at it. It's bouncing in front. Patrick Waugh can't find it. Mike Keane lost it. And on the second try, Keane is able to get it out. Colorado changes their penalty-killing unit as Lume hits the line, turned back. McGillney plays it back to Rolin. Jim Sandlak's out there on the power play. But Gusarov has it for Colorado. Plays it off the boards out to center. And there's Sakic. Great moves by Joe Sakic. Here he goes. Fans on their feet as he takes the shot, deflecting wide. Sakic after it again, tying up the Canucks, and he'll get a huge roar as he heads to the bench. Now Schellin is on the move, dropping it for Courtnall. Courtnall cross ice, a coin stopped by Waugh on a nice setup. 18 seconds left in the man advantage as Forsberg's on the move. Here's Peter Forsberg rolling it in, and Hirsch with the stop. Yell on the doorstep. Back come the Canucks. Doesn't get much better than this. Here's a great move by Lyndon Schellin in front. And Patrick Waugh got a piece of that. And Colorado clears. Wow. Now Chris Simon out of the penalty box. Here's Simon looking for an open man. And it comes outside the line. We're under 8 minutes to go. Third period. Mike Keane firing it wide. Troy Murray upended as the Canucks send it out to center, and Lesishin knocks it right back in. Great playoff action here as Jyrki Lumme one-hands it over the line. Deadmarsh is there, and he'll turn back. The speedy Adam Deadmarsh hauled down by Naslund. Penalty coming up. Marcus Naslund, Sakic from Kamensky and Gusarov. 1 for 7, the Avalanche on the power play tonight. Schellin has stood up by Sakic, but the puck comes out to center. Linden pounding Lemieux. Peter Forsberg has it, dropping it. Ozolinsh fires it wide. Kamensky behind the net. Lume clearing it over the glass and out of play. 23 seconds gone. Great atmosphere in this building. Colorado won the draw, but it came out to center. And they'll regroup in their own zone with Ozolinsh. A couple of power play goals in the series. Jyrki Lume. He's checked, and there's Kamensky again. Merzen came up with it, put it in front. And neatly, the Canucks come up with a 2-on-1. Here's Linden. Trevor Linden loads it up. And Sakic came back to get a stick on it and deflected out of play.
Good defensive play by Joe Sakic, but Peter Forsberg came back on that.
Sundin, the overtime winner. Will we get overtime here? Tampa Bay won in sudden death. And the Avalanche, a goal down here. Here comes Scott Young, snaps the shot, blocked by Rolin. Mike Ricci back to Sakic at the point. Ozolinsh has moved down low. That's Young along the boards. Ridley and Sillinger, the penalty killers. Young gives it to Sakic. High shot, doesn't get through. Hirsch went down. Here's Chris Simon in the corner. Watched by Rolin, who knocks it off his stick. And the Canucks clear it. 25 seconds remaining in the power play. 5:50 to go, third period. Ozolinsh up ahead, Lemieux, and he had Forsberg open, missed him with the pass. Hirsch plays it in the corner. Lemieux back to the point. Gusarov is there. Claude Lemieux off the boards. Looks for Ozolinsh, who missed the one-timer, and Jelena will speed away. Trevor Linden trying to make it a 2-on-1 as Jelena shoots it wide. Out of the penalty box came Naslund. Just missed making it a 3-on-1, so they're back at even strength. Ozolinsh on the move. He's checked, and Ronning will try and clear it. It'll be sent down the ice by Jelena, and this will be icing against Vancouver with 5:07. Sakic is up there again. And the Avalanche captain with the puck spins it in front. McGillney back defensively. Gusarov with a high shot. Gusarov gets his own rebound. And puck following him around as he has it again. Lasician was knocked down in front of the ice, and Curtis Lasician is back up on the wing. And he puts it into the Vancouver zone. Third around the boards, and Naslund has it. Chased from behind by Ditmarsh. He'll roll it in and go after it. Uwe Krupp is back there. And Naslund forechecking as it comes ahead. Lasician can't get it out. Uwe Krupp has it in his skates, and Naslund right on him again. Good persistence performance, and they turn it over. Ridley a weak shot wide. 4:14 to go, third period. And now the Canucks trying to hem the Avalanche in. Ridley forechecking. It's cleared to center. And Kuchera's there for Vancouver. Up to Jelena too far, and Uwe Krupp will get rid of it, bouncing it into the Vancouver zone. A coin overskated it with Simon cruising around. Jelena now plays it to Ridley. Here's Mike Ridley with Sillinger moving in. That's blocked by Ozolinsh. He plays it ahead, kept in by Kuchera. Here's a turnover again. Kuchera moving up. There's a shot knocked down in front. And now Ozolinsh gets control ahead to Young. 3.5 minutes to go. Scott Young rolling it through, and Simon had his stick raised. Couldn't get his stick on the puck. And a penalty coming up as a Canuck was taken down. I think that was Troy Murray, looking about a power play goal to ice this one. And Ronning won the faceoff. Lume watched by Yell. In low to Sandlak. McGillney along the boards, trying to fish it free. He knocked Ronning down, and it's Lefebvre clearing it down the ice. Exactly 3 minutes to play, third period. 5-4, Vancouver with the lead. Here's Ronning over center. Patrick Waugh can't stop it up. It comes to McGillney. Back to Lume. Backhanding it into the corner. Wolanin taking Sandlak to the boards, but Sandlak works it to Ronning. And Rolin returns it to Ronning. Moving in, the shot right on, rebound, and it rolls to Patrick Waugh's McGillney. Couldn't get good wood on it. Number one, you look at Uwe Krupp, who had the same injury 5 weeks before Pavel Bure. He's been back for 3 weeks. So you figure it's a couple of more for Pavel Bure before he's on schedule. Here's Naslund working in, centers it, and Ridley robbed by Patrick Waugh. Big stop by the Avalanche goaltender to keep Colorado alive in this one. 2 minutes to play and 42 seconds remaining in the Vancouver power play. Kuchera over the line, drops for Naslund. 22's been dangerous tonight. Long shoot in off the blocker of Patrick Waugh, and Gusarov has it. Flipping it to center, glove down by Kuchera. Adam Foote off the boards, kept in by Kuchera. For Ridley, Kuchera going to the net, across it comes the shot, and that one Waugh had a piece of, and Ridley failed to capitalize on the rebound. Lume now finds Ridley again. Portman just off the bench, speeding in behind the goal. And the Avalanche up with it, and Gusarov will play it out. Murray out of the penalty box. And back at full strength, the Avalanche with 1 minute and 12 seconds to play. Krupp can't keep it in. Valeri Kamensky turning, and Patrick Waugh edging out of the net. Lead pass for Forsberg too far. Hurst will play it off the boards. Linden tied up. Gets it again. Waugh started out, but he's got to go back in as Linden goes to the attack. With Jelena. Portnoy hit the goal post as he whipped that shot. Jelena checking Ozolinsh, and they'll try to bottle up Colorado before walk and get out of the net. Now he's gone to the bench. And we're into the final 33 seconds. The net is empty. Strange bounce out in front. Kamensky didn't see it. Portnoy can't get it out. Forsberg sprawled to keep it in the corner. Here's Joe Sakic, the extra attacker. Sakic tries to spin in front. Penalty coming up as Linden touches it. 15.5 seconds to go. And the Avalanche will have a... Fans on their feet. Linden wins the draw. Lume around the boards. Ozolinsh keeps it in. Along the wall, it comes loose for Kamensky. Trying to center it. Linden there again. Trevor Linden trying to pin it. It comes out in front. Ozolinsh shooting. Doesn't get through, and the Canucks win one in Colorado.
And here we go. We've got some rough stuff now. The game is over. And this emotion that we didn't see in game one has been prevalent throughout this game. That's the Tikkanen, and there's Dana Merzen. He's on top of somebody in front of the net, and I bet it's Claude Lemieux.
Well, Dana Merzen with a tremendous physical effort tonight, and it is Claude Lemieux.
How could you guess?
And this is about as well as we can promote game number 3 Saturday night.
Mark Crawford looks on. It's not going to matter.
How about Trevor Linden in the final 15.5 seconds? Wins the face-off, and yeoman service for Pat Quinn.
And who ended up blocking that last shot? It was Trevor Linden.
And the atmosphere outside the Canuck dressing room tonight will be